Hey folks, we're back talking about my Premier League preview for the weekend. We're back after international break. I've had a video that I've had for the international break that's been up and down, whether it's going to be uploaded or not. Whether this video is going to get uploaded, we hope it does, because I'm having some troubles right now, I am. But let's talk about the games that are coming up this weekend. Starting off with that Forest and Chelsea game. And Ange has been on the brink of losing his job at the time of recording. He might even lose his job by the time the game comes out. Obviously, Sean Dyche has been linked with it a lot. Typically, Sean Dyche just come in and get a result in his first game, gets a 0-0 draw, just does what Sean Dyche does. I don't think Dyche is a step in the right direction for Forest. It's a step in the right direction from Ange, but not from Nuno. Nuno is someone who's a bit more expansive than Dyche, and they're going backwards, I feel, with hiring Dyche to do. Ange usually gets hammered by Chelsea, and I think Chelsea are going to absolutely hammer Forest here. Forest, are a good team on paper, but falling apart there. Brighton and Newcastle. I think Newcastle will struggle with the trip down to the south coast there. They have struggled in the past with trips down to the south coast, but they have been very good defensively this season. Obviously, the most clean sheets in the league so far, 5 clean sheets so far. Eddie Howe has them acting very strong, but I feel like this is a game where they might just lose it a bit. I think Cuba Mint is going to get a bit of old club syndrome and score against them, and it's just like a 2-on win for Brighton. I see Brighton taking this game. Burnley and Leeds, obviously two of the new promoted clubs coming up to each other for the first time in the Premier League, and I think Burnley are going to take it in this one. I think Jadon Anthony has been impressive. Leeds have been impressive as well as of recently, but I think this is a game where Burnley can take some points off the board for themselves and try and make a push for their survival. I don't think Burnley are going to survive this year, but I think there's a game where they can help themselves positively. Crystal Palace and Bournemouth, once again, Crystal Palace now no longer unbeaten on that massive run. Bournemouth are a team where they have that advantage where they could get it off them. Obviously, Iraola has them really nicely. Iraola and Glasner are both two exciting managers at lower half Premier League teams. Typically, lower half Premier League teams are pushing on for European places constantly now. But I think it's gonna be tight between them. It's gonna be really tight between them. It's gonna be hard to draw them apart and say who's gonna take who. Disappointing that this game's not on TV. Out of the games that are on TV this weekend, apart from the Liverpool United game, this would probably be the most exciting game out of the lot. Disappointing that it's on a 3 o'clock kickoff. City and Everton, and I think City's gonna absolutely hammer Everton. I think Pickford's gonna come off his international break. He usually does pretty well after international breaks with a bit of England pride behind him, but I think Erling Haaland is going to absolutely hammer it down to the ground and show what he's about, and what he's been about for the past couple of seasons is goals, and he's going to get some more goals against Everton. Sunderland and Wolves, obviously Wolves have been struggling this season so far, and I think the struggle's going to continue here against Sunderland. Sunderland have made the Stadium of Light a really tough place to even go to right now, and it is a fair distance to travel for any teams. Same as Newcastle making St James is a tough place to go. The Stadium of Light is a tough place to go as well. And I think Sunderland can get a result here and continue their really good form for the start of the season, where they're pushing on, doing a lot better than anyone would have said they were doing by this point of the season. Fulham and Arsenal, I think this is where an Arsenal might happen. They have a bit of a jump and they're like, oh, will it fall apart? Is it going to fall apart here? But they managed to get it over in the end. I think we're going to see that here. I think Marco Silva is going to give a bit of a tricky challenge for Arteta, but I think Arteta will come out on top eventually. Probably thanks to a Rice corner, let's face it. Spurs and Villa, typically quite an exciting game. I don't feel like the excitement's going to be there this year. I think Spurs are still lacking in that X factor. Kudus has done really well, but Xavi Simons, who's been really exciting so far, hasn't managed to find his feet just yet in terms of cracking on with it. And Aston Villa, yeah, they've got goals in them now, but I don't think goals consistent enough, or after international break, a 2-week break, is that problem going to reoccur again where they're struggling to even find the net? Ollie Watkins potentially injured as well. Hopefully not for Villa's sake. Anyway, on to Liverpool and United. And I don't want to speak about this one too much, because obviously right now the way I see it is Liverpool are going to beat us. Liverpool are better than us, but they are on a 3-game losing streak, and if we can add to that to make it 4 games in a row, yes, please, yes, I would like that very much. I would quite enjoy that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Isak's going to find his form here. I think Gakpo's going to have a good game. I think Salah's going to get his usual goal. Whatever. It's one of them games where I'll look at the games of the season and say, where do I want to get our points? Anfield's not one of them. I'd love to get points at Anfield, but I don't think it's going to happen. And then finally on Monday we have West Ham. My sound's gone off. West Ham and Brentford, which sounds such like a boring game, especially now that Thomas Frank's not in charge of Brentford. Obviously Nuno is at West Ham, and I think it's going to be tight stuff. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think West Ham might be able to nip it, but it's probably going to be a draw. And that is my predictions for how this weekend's going to go. It's a pretty bland weekend in terms of football. As I said, the most exciting games are Liverpool United, obviously a massive game, and then Crystal Palace Bournemouth, which is a really exciting game and hasn't been given enough love by the media, considering where both clubs are doing right now, how both clubs are doing, and where both clubs are at. And it's, yeah, needs a bit more love. That's going to be really nice. If you like, see more, subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.